Great to have everybody here. I'm really delighted to welcome you to the slot for the International College at Robert Gordon University. So what I'll do now is I will share my screen and I'll be able to show you some of the information that we have here at the International College. So hopefully you should be able to see some of the information that we have here. Just a quick introduction. You'll see on here a list of all the programs that we have. We have 2 intakes for our undergraduate programs, one which is September, which is still open and available for applications. And the next is in January, which of course we are open to applications at this stage as well. We offer entry at foundation level and international year 1 into a variety of undergraduate programs that you can see. And we also offer postgraduate pre-masters, which is available in October and then again in June. So you'll see here a couple of really key points that we want to pop out to you, which includes our TEF Gold rating, which is putting us in the top 20% of UK universities for our teaching excellence standard, as well as some of those rankings which we really want to shout about. And that's our paid placement opportunities, our industry connections, and our industry exposure and work experience programs that are so vitally important to our students that study at Robert Gordon University. So let's take a little look. Yeah.
Susie, sorry to stop you. Are you able to change your view to widescreen?
Yeah, sure. Let me see if I can get it to do it.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yeah, thank you.
No worries. There's always a 50-50 chance that I'm going to show the wrong screen. So thanks so much, Beth, for pointing that out. So on to the next slide. So hopefully you can see those information and those course titles and some of those great programs that are so popular for students from your region, including our architecture program, which will run again in January, and our management and business programs, which all have great placement opportunities that I'll tell you about in just a moment. So let's have a quick look at some of the facilities here at ICRGU. An idea about what the university looks like and a little bit of the facilities and also those practical programs that I talked about. You can see there that our students get their hands on to all of the equipment and get to use all of the campus during their studies. So I'll show you right here on the screen, you'll see the blue icon. That is the location of the International College. At the top of the screen, the darker area of blue is the River Dee. So we are on the Riverside location, and I'll show you some pictures of the campus as well. So you can get an idea of what the campus environment really looks like. We're right in the middle between RGU Sport, the Aberdeen Business School, and also some brand new buildings that the university has invested in order to build a really one-stop shop campus for our students. I talked a little bit about accessing lots of really practical programs, and you'll find me saying that a lot for Robert Gordon University. All of the programs that we offer are really practical in nature. you'll see that they've got applied learning from pretty much day one. So we want to teach students the skills that they need to go into the job. With over 90% of the undergraduate programs offering placements, this is a really practical degree program. We have lots of different programs that we look at getting students to go out and do problem solving, to do real life projects, to really get their hands on so that they can take those skills after graduation and be really competitive graduates. So some of the placements vary in length. We have some of them which are 4 weeks long for postgraduate students, all the way up to a full 1 year paid placement. That can be at undergraduate level. During your 3rd year, you'll go out and you'll actually go and do the job for a year, earn those practical skills, earn those knowledge, as well as earn some money. You also don't pay course fees for that year, so it really is counted towards your credit. This is a time for you to go and learn while you're a student, to make the mistakes while you're a student. It's not a sandwich year, as I said, so it is fully part of your studies. And we've got former students who have actually created fantastic industry connections. So they've actually got job offers. Some of them are working with the Whig Group, which is a very well-known oil and gas company here. Others have gone into different companies throughout the world, throughout West Africa, in Hong Kong, and throughout kind of the international global connections that the university connects. The reason that we promote these practical programs and these exposures to industry is because our graduates are distinctive. They come out of their 4th year and they realize that they already have a year of skills. They already have a year of doing the job. That's a year more than a lot of graduates from coming straight from university that have never actually gone out and done the job for the day. So there's a confidence that our students have when they complete their studies. Graduate prospects is probably one of the strongest things that the university can shout about. We are 2nd in the UK and 2nd in Scotland for overall student satisfaction, but we're also really highly ranked when it comes to our prospects when students graduate. We're the top in Scotland for graduate employability, 2nd in the UK in the rankings for the QS graduate employability rankings, top 50 university in the world for graduate prospects. And we're also 1st in Scotland and top in the UK, top 10 for our industry connections. So that's really important. We want to connect our students to industry, but we also want to connect our courses to industry to make sure that they're relevant for students when they graduate, that they've gone and they've learned the skills that they're going to need on day one when they start their first day of a new job. So you can see that I've just put in some of the industry connections, but also some of the professional qualifications. You'll probably recognize some of these logos when you're looking at international companies, including Shell, Petrofac, Total. These are some major global industries that we have on our doorstep here in Aberdeen. Aberdeen's actually got a bit of a history to it when it comes to the petroleum industry. It's home to Europe's petroleum region, and it's often referred to as the energy capital of Europe. So the programs that we offer are developed alongside these global businesses, and that's how we connect via our teaching staff who have maybe come from industry, or we're maybe looking at developing projects for these companies that they want to have research or they want to have young minds work on, and we want to make sure that we develop them to the demands of the future employer. A funny fact that I actually always get surprised when I tell people is Aberdeen is home to the largest commercial heliport in the world. It's an important service ship harbour port, and it also connects us to the world with an international airport that has direct links to London, Amsterdam, Paris, but also through the other areas which are oil and gas cities, including in Norway, that connects us all. There's also a real focus not only on oil and gas, but we're also looking at those renewable energies. So renewable energy is a major focus for the companies such as Shell and BP. They're really focusing on how that they can build their reputation internationally within energies So RGU is in the forefront of that conversation with solar and wave and tidal technologies, all research taking place on campus at ICRGU and RGU. So Dinara is one of our former students, which is a really good example about going out, getting a placement and understanding those networks. In fact, she studied at the International College and she met students from all over the world, but she also met local employers during her placement. So she actually has been offered a full-time job and now works for them here in Aberdeen within a project management role. So that connection was made from the day that she started her studies. I wanted to show you some of the images around the campus because it's really important for you to understand the type of institution that we are. We are modern, we are forefront, we are professional. We want students to get that hands-on experience, as I said, and you can see from day one, our students are interacting in that space. We don't have stuffy classrooms, which are ancient. We don't have that kind of old-fashioned level of teaching. All that we do is modern and all that we do is relevant. So you can see here some of the areas on campus. We've got not only we have companies bringing in some great examples for students to work on, like the Ferrari Grand Prix car, but we've also got, for example, our architecture students interacting in their own architecture space and getting hands-on. We've also got great coffee shops, and that's always helpful when you're a student on campus. Lots of green space to be in and lots of space to get to know your campus and get to know your friends. And you can see that through our tree-lined Riverside campus. So here's another one that really shows off that river. It's a great place if you want to relax, if you want to study with your friends, or if you want to walk into the city. It's not very far, it's about 2 miles away. There are buses that connect it as well. But we've also got RGU Sport on campus and we've got lots of great places to eat and interact. You'll also see there for any students that are interested in computing, on campus, we've got lots of fantastic facilities for lots of different subjects. But this one I wanted to show you as it's actually its own private server. So students can go on and they can practice how to hack in a good way. And they can also do that without shutting down the university system as well. So that's really important to show that to you. So Aberdeen was actually, as a city, was something that you may not know much about. So we are the northeast of Scotland. So we're a Scottish institution, which means coming to Scotland has its own culture and it has its own environment. But the university city has been named the best city, Scottish city, and in the top 10 to live and work. It's a great student city because it is affordable too. So you can afford to go on adventures and eat out and enjoy yourself socially, as well as the rent is reasonable and living here and transport is reasonable as well. It was also named the third best city in the UK for millennials. So it depends on how old you are and how old our audience is today. But you can see from there, there's lots of great opportunities to, I'll show you in a video in just a moment, some of the outside space that we have and some of those great restaurants that we have too. We're about 1.5 hours on a flight from London. So you can easily access, the capital. You can travel on lots of cheap airlines. Obviously, it doesn't take long to get there, and then you can connect to London. But we also have connections to most major cities here through not only our airport, but through the railway links and through the bus links that we have as well. It's a great place to explore the outdoors. We have Cairngorm National Park, where you can go hiking and you can be in the great outdoors in just a matter of a couple of hours. And you can really live on the coast and really enjoy that outside environment. Let me show you this short video in Aberdeen so that you can get an idea of what the city looks like. lots of really great resources when you start to look as Aberdeen as a study destination. You can also look at Scotland too, because you want to go visit Edinburgh, you want to go to Glasgow for some live music. There's lots of places that you can visit, and it's easily accessible for you. University is one of two here in Aberdeen. So we have Robert Gordon University, known for its professional and practical programs, and also the University of Aberdeen. So here we have over 30,000 students that call Aberdeen home. So we've got a bit of everything. We've got the student lifestyle, student discounts, and lots of great student clubs to join. But we've also got in between a great standard of living for our staff and for our teams that work here. So we are really pleased to be able to introduce you very briefly to our college and our institution. We cannot wait to welcome you guys to study with us in Scotland for some of our great programmes. I'd absolutely be delighted to answer any questions, as I'm probably way ahead of time, but I'd be pleased to answer anything that you may have just now, or if you want me to revert back to my initial slide with some of the course titles, if that would be helpful. So I wonder if we want to answer any questions, or if there's anything else I can show you today.
Thank you, Susan. We have standard questions for you, and the first one is, do university partner with ACCA?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have exemptions. One of the main things that we do here at Robert Gordon, I'll show you that slide, is that we have exemptions from lots of professional bodies. So you'll be able to see here, ACCA is one of those listed. So our undergraduate program in accounting and finance, for example, does have exemptions of up to 8 papers for our undergraduate students. And we also have accounting and finance and oil for the oil and gas accounting at postgraduate level.
Thank you. And what about living costs and tuition fees?
So living costs, I don't have a slide on it here, but here in Scotland, we do have, we're outside of London, we do have a lower cost of living. Currently, that is at the £9,135, which is what's advised by the UKVI to have in your account. However, if you have that amount of money, you're probably living a very comfortable lifestyle up here in Aberdeen, with lots of options for student housing, from private rooms all the way through to private apartments. Our cost of living can vary based on every budget. So we have students that share rooms in order to save some money, to those that have private studios, which usually average a lot less than some of the major cities throughout the UK. Very high standard of living, and transportation is very easy to access. In fact, you probably don't need it. Most of our students can walk to university, or they'll take their bike. So it's nice to get some exercise.
Thank you. And what about tuition fees?
So tuition fees for our undergraduates vary from 12,500 to 14,500. The cost of that is obviously very close. We don't have really expensive courses, and also we remember to remind students that if they do the 3rd year placement year, that can save them almost a full year of tuition fees. So undergraduate fees from 12,500 to 14,500, and then our pre-masters programs start at 7,250 for the pre-masters program.
Thank you. And let me ask you some personal questions. So what do you personally like about this university?
The biggest thing for me is when I was an international student many years ago, and what I really enjoyed was getting practical exposure to my career of choice. So I find that really is ingrained in this university. So when you meet students, they start off and they think it's all going to be essays and looking at books. Robert Gordon University is not like that. Robert Gordon University wants you to go out and practice, wants you to go out and take the leap of faith and give it a good go, and they'll give you guidance. We've had students that have come who went and worked with a helicopter company for his placement. He was so timid and shy when he first started. Then he went out, did his placement as a business analyst for a helicopter company for a year. He came back a different guy. He was, confident. He was ready to go out there. And I think that's what the passion that's there to get that practical exposure is something that RGU do really well.
Good. And the last one is, what is your favorite place in Aberdeen?
So I'm a big food fan. I don't know if you can, I'm a big food fan. So here in Aberdeen, I must admit, we're very lucky with our location, is that we're on the coast. And so we have the most exceptional seafood that's available here. I went to a restaurant on the coast, which is very beautiful food, good beer. And there's a nice environment, and we've got lots of places like that people can come and enjoy and socialize safely. You can go out and be safe here in Aberdeen. It's really easy to walk around and enjoy the city and all it's got to offer.
Thank you, Susan. It was very interesting and good experience that you also were an international student. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Hörmətli studentlarımız, sizga yoqqan umidamiz prezentatsiyamiz. Qisqacha ma'lumot berib o'taman kompaniyamiz haqida. Universal Group kompaniyasi 2005-yildan beri faoliyat olib boradi. 50 dan ortiq davlat universitetlari bilan hamkorlik qilamiz. Buyuk Britaniya, Avstraliya, Gollandiya, Amerika Qo'shma Shtatlari, Kanada va Germaniya. Hamma universitetlar top 500 ga kiradi dunyo bo'yicha. Hozir Swansea universitetining vakili Catherine Thomas prezentatsiya olib boradi. Eslatib o'taman, savollaringiz bo'lsa, обязательно комментарийga yozing, hamma savollaringizga javob beramiz.
Итак, следующий у нас Swansea University, который находится в Уэльсе, и будет его вести у нас Catherine Thomas.